As someone who used to be a systems engineering manager, I decided to start living my life as if I am the project manager of it. And I would encourage other people to do the same. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Becoming Her Diaries, where I share my journey of becoming my highest self in the hopes of inspiring you to do the same. This week, we are talking all about planning because Q3 is right around the corner, and I don't know about y'all, but I refuse to fail this quarter. I am determined to show up for myself, and I finally found a system that I've been implementing towards the end of Q2 that I feel like is really going to help me in quarter three so that I can achieve all of my goals. So I'm going to break that down for you guys. And it's not necessarily super complicated, but there are some steps to it. So feel free to take notes and go ahead and grab that pen and pencil and we'll get started. The first thing I always do is fill out the 12-week year approach. If you've never heard of the book called A 12-Week Year, it is a book that just has you list out all of your goals for the year and then compress them into a 3-month period or a 12-week period. So you set 3 to 5 goals for yourself for the quarter. And then under each one, you put 3 to 5 strategies on how you plan on achieving that goal. Now, one thing I will tell you is when I used to do sessions for goal setting for different like corporate events, one thing I will always suggest for people is to create goals that are not just smart, but that are within your control. For instance, I never put on my goal setting that I want to have a certain number of followers because that's not in my control. I don't control who hits follow. But what I do control is what the frequency is that I post and then what I'm posting and how that strategy builds towards what I want my page to look like and what type of brand that I'm trying to build for myself. So for this quarter, I'm really focusing on my physical goals. I'm focusing on trading, and then I'm really focused on building the brand that I want, because going into Q4, if you're a content creator, you may not have heard this, but it's really the most lucrative quarter of the year. And Q3 is really when I'm going to start building those relationships with other brands so that I can have a better UGC partnership going into Q4. I do my 12-week year virtually. So I put it into my computer, I fill it out in Notion, and I will see if I can send you guys the Notion template. I got it from some other woman years ago, and I've been using it ever since. And I love using a Notion template because I also link pages to it. So what you'll see in my Notion page is that, let's say one of the goals for this quarter, as I mentioned, was building a brand. That includes you guys, what I post on YouTube. And so in there, I have a Notion page just for YouTube on what I would like to post, the type of content, any content ideas that have come to my head on days that I was feeling particularly creative. And then I save those in that Notion page and I'll outline them accordingly when the time comes. But all of that is done digitally, not virtually. I said virtually earlier, digitally on my computer. Now, my system includes both digital and written planning. And that's honestly what I would encourage most people to do because your brain is wired to write things down. People have been writing things down for thousands of years, and we just got computers within the last few decades. So your brain's not necessarily retaining the same information from typing that it does from writing something down, which is why people say to write your affirmations. And we used to penalize children by having them write, "I will not tell a lie," right? So you want to kind of implement that same strategy if you can. That is what I do on a large scale. Now it's down to take it down to the next level. Once I know what I want to do, I separate my weeks into time blocks. So every single day you'll see my calendar and it's just sectioned into work blocks 1 through 4. And then at the beginning of the day, I have what I call power hour. And then at the end of the day, I have what I call fulfillment time. I do not work on professional projects past about 7 p.m. and I will not start them before 7 a.m. Between the time I wake up, which is usually around 5 o'clock and 7 a.m., is when I try to just work on my body, on my mind, and on my spirit. This week, it's been mostly walking because I do have a super high step challenge for 20,000 steps a day, which really takes up all of my power hour versus other times. It's been 20 minutes of walking, 30 minutes of walking, a few minutes of journaling, maybe meditation, and I kind of mix it up. And so I don't put specifics into that time. I just leave it open. Same thing for the evening when it comes to fulfillment time. It's something that's going to help my brain wind down, either watching a TV show that I've already seen, reading a new book, knitting, because I love to knit, any of those things that just kind of brings me internal peace. I don't want anything that's going to wire me up, which includes work. It's a lot easier to start a project at 7 p.m. and then you're like, oh, I'll just keep going till 9. Oh, I can go for another hour. No, because that messes up my evening routine, which then impedes my morning routine. So I do set firm boundaries around 7, maybe at the latest 8 o'clock, because I do go to bed around 9 p.m. And I would encourage you to set a similar system of just a consistent bedtime, because your body will thank you for it, thanks to the whole concept of circadian rhythm. Once I have my time blocks set out, I do not fill them all in advance. I have found that to be the worst thing in the world for me personally. And so now every Sunday I sit down, and this is when I actually start physically writing things out. I write down my 5 high level goals for the week. And for this week, for instance, it was one of the goals was recording this video, completing a brand partnership, things like that, that I know I really need to get done this week. And then there are likes to get done, but those aren't brought up yet. Okay. We just write down 5 things, no more than 5 of things that need to get done this week, high level projects. And then I go in and I write down specific tasks that need to be completed for that goal to be done efficiently. Now, here's where I think is the best part of my new system, and that is writing an estimated time of what I think it'll take to get those tasks done, these specific tasks. So let's say, for instance, I wanted to record this video this week. You guys were on my list, right? You're a priority to me. And so I wrote that down as like goal number 3. Now, I would never put into my time block calendar create YouTube video. There's too many parts that go into creating a YouTube video. There's an outline, there's a script, there are thumbnails, there's the description, tags. All of that comes together. Editing the video, right? Filming the video. All of those things are written out on my sheet of paper, and then I go through and review and think about how long it's going to take me to do each of those tasks. For instance, I know this video is going to be between 15 to 30 minutes. And so I'll estimate a filming time of about 45 minutes, because it takes time to sit down, set up my lights, everything like that, to make sure that you guys have a quality video, making sure my camera is charged, as well as my microphone. And then there's also the editing process. That's the one that I know will take a lot of time for certain styles of video. For vlogs, it'll take 2 to 4 hours, versus for a video like this where I can go through and just review the transcript, maybe an hour for that as well. Okay, so now I'm going through, looking at those specific tasks and writing out time estimations. And I always estimate high. If I think it's going to take an hour, putting an hour and a half. Bathroom breaks, you're tired, you're uneasy, you're jittery, you're not creative in the moment. All of that needs to be taken into consideration. And so every Sunday, we're going to write down all of those tasks for each of those 5 top goals, as well with time estimations. Now, on to the next stage. This is where things get a little more deep and a little more fun to plan out. Now I look at my empty work blocks. It literally just says on my calendar, work block 1 through 4, Monday through Friday. And now I start changing those around. What I'll go in and do. So today I knew I was going to film for you guys, and I went into my calendar either the day before or Sunday. I usually try to do it all on Sunday, but sometimes I get a little overwhelmed. But on Sunday is the goal, to go in and say, I'm going to film this on Tuesday. I'm going to edit this on Wednesday. My goal is to post it and upload it on Sunday, right? I make sure that in those time blocks that they are matching the estimated time that I put on the side, and I put them in time blocks accordingly. So if I know that it's going to take me 4 hours to edit a vlog, I may put that in time block 1, work block 1 on Monday, as well as work block 2, because each work block is 1.5 to 2.5 hours. I find that with the Pomodoro method, that is the best system to not really sit and try to work for too long, because it does start to wear at your mind and wears at your body, and you start to get a little aggravated towards the end, because you do need your breaks, and balance is very important. Now that I have written it into my work blocks, I'm pretty much good to go, and I'm set to get my week started. Now, all of this has happened on Sunday, and things come up, things change. And one thing I've seen in the past couple of weeks is that self-care and illness can really get in the way of those things. So one thing I also have implemented this week is planning nothing on Friday. Friday is empty. Okay. Friday is a catch-all. So anything that had to get pushed a little bit, or maybe like I needed to take a nap or I had a headache, anything that was during those work blocks that I don't feel rushed later gets pushed into Friday. Or if I see that something is on Wednesday and it's not specifically due to another person, then I will take that Wednesday block and shift it to Friday so that I can continue what I didn't finish earlier in the week. And I know I'm saying a lot of words. I'm gonna pull up screen so you guys can kind of see it a bit better because I think it's a lot to take in verbally. But it's a great way to just have slack. And that's what we do as systems engineers as well. When we plan a schedule, we don't necessarily book every single thing. We give ranges for everything and make sure there are things you can slide in and things that you can push out. So far, I haven't had the situation where I need to pull in anything, or what they say, like pull it to the left or whatever. I've never had that problem because if anything, I estimate too low. As I mentioned earlier, time blindness is a problem for me when it comes to like just underestimating how long something can take, which is why I always give myself a little bit more time. But sometimes that's not even enough. And I need even more time than that. And that's why we have the empty day on Friday. The last part of this system is I create something that is called an admin block. And I think this is good for anyone, whether you're an entrepreneur or not. Because when you have an admin block, that is anything that you need to do. Really, it's an adulting block. So making appointments, any tax stuff that I need to do, paperwork, things that I need to get done, all of that falls into the admin block. That's really the pickup for any of the want to do's that I don't need to do for the week. Usually that's one of the 2.5 hour blocks in one afternoon, usually Thursday or Wednesday afternoon. I'll set aside to make sure that I really just have space in my calendar to get the things done that I don't normally want to get done. Those are listed somewhere else actually, and this is probably a bit too much, but I do have the app Good Notes, and what I'll do with my Apple Pencil is write in all of the like small quick tasks that fall under admin to me. And I this is similar to what you'll read if you've ever read the 4 Hour Work Week. They talk about this, like there are tasks that take under 3 minutes to complete. All of those fall under my admin group. So any emails that need to be sent, emails that need to be responded to, all of that falls under admin. My goal is to have 2 admin blocks a week, one on like Tuesday or Monday, and then another one on Thursday or Friday. It hasn't worked out so far that way yet, just because I'm behind on some things from not having a better system months ago. And so I'm still playing catch up in a lot of areas of my life. As someone who used to be a systems engineering manager, I decided to start living my life as if I am the project manager of it. And I would encourage other people to do the same, because there is a sort of responsibility that you have when you're the manager of something, versus I find it's hard to just show up for yourself in comparison to how it can be to show up for others. I find it easier to show up for other people in comparison to myself. I find it easier to keep promises to other people than I do to myself. And so now that I've separated this out as if I'm managing my own life, it's like I'm showing up for me, but there is some separation in my brain so that it still feels like I'm doing something for someone else. And honestly, that's what life is about, guys. Everything you're doing right now is for future you. And don't forget about her or him, right? You're doing the dishes the night before for future you. You're doing your skincare at night for the you in the morning who wants to wake up with glowing skin, right? It's always someone else who's benefiting, even if it's not you specifically in that moment. And that is the beauty of having a system, is that the future you gets to benefit from all of it. So that is my current system. I adore it. Let me know what you guys think. I know I just said a lot and I feel like I talked really fast throughout this video because I have so much energy from the amount of caffeine that I've had today. But let me know what you guys think. Just as a like overview, we're doing a mix. Written, digital, calendar is used. Calendar is just a high level system, and then the written system has all of the details. I would encourage you to use a digital calendar just because you can set reminders, you can add locations, things like that. And that's probably one other bonus note. I would say don't just write out the tasks that you want to do, but switch up the locations. If I have work blocks 1 through 4, at least one of those 4 work blocks will not be in my apartment, just to add some separation and to give me a little bit of distance throughout my day. And I even used to do this when I had a 9 to 5. I may have like an admin block equivalent, and I would do that in a different building or reserve a conference room, just something to separate my day out if I couldn't get to a cafe or a public workspace, because your environment does positively and or negatively affect you. So you want to set yourself up for success. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you guys next week. And before I see you in this next video, I'll see you guys in the vlog if you guys want to see how I am physically and daily implementing the system that we talked about today. All right. Bye.